Hi, everybody. My name is Bill, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Readup, the world's first premium social platform for readers. We're raising $1 million right now, and I'm going to quickly walk you through the first version of our fundraising pitch. For starters, let's talk about the internet. Humanity is losing its attention span. Specifically, online, it's hard to focus on one thing at a time for more than a few seconds, let alone a few minutes. We're addicted to feeds of bite-sized pieces of information. You probably experienced this, I know I have, scrolling, skimming, browsing through headlines and things in your feed. It's not a very high-quality neurological experience, and I'll explain why in a moment. It is undeniably a feature of the internet that we have access to all the world's information, but it's a bug that we're drowning in. And the result of all of this onslaught of bite-sized pieces of information is that we're not practicing critical thinking and we're not practicing independent thought, which leads to polarization and, frankly, the end of reality as we know it. Truth and trust are disappearing and misinformation is rampant. Let's go one level deeper on this and talk about the brain. Deep reading is a distinct neurological experience from skim reading or browsing. So these, just quick looking around and glancing at things for just a few seconds at a time. If you're interested in this topic, I highly suggest a book called Reader Come Home by Marianne Wolf, who's the global authority on this topic. And what she did is examined the brains of people, literally scanned them while they were reading for 10, 15 minutes or more on a single thing. That's all it takes, is just reading one thing for an extended period of time, and the brain starts firing up in the areas responsible for critical thinking and creativity, empathy, emotion, short and long-term memory. She literally describes it as fireworks. And that changes you. It makes you happier, healthier, smarter. This is why we try to get children to develop a habit of reading. It advances your career, and it even improves your mental health. The solution is deep reading. Deep reading is healthy screen time. It's a completely new behavior that we are pioneering, and it's more than just a technology, but it starts there. So Readup is a social reading platform that incentivizes article completion. That's how we've defined deep reading. And we call ourselves a social reading platform because we don't want you to think of us as a social media platform. Quite frankly, this is an entirely new contract between end user and company that we're pioneering here. And it's because we have a brand new attention quantum. So all of this, especially the attention quantum, is our read tracking technology. We patented it. My co-founder and I basically had this idea almost 4 years ago where we wanted to prevent people from commenting on things that they haven't actually read. So as soon as we had that very first conversation, we started thinking about whether or not we could figure out who's read what. We did a lot of research and we found out that that technology didn't exist, so we built it. It's the world's first binary proof of reading test. And what I mean when I say binary is that it knows whether or not you really read a given article or story. It's impossible to cheat, and it is what powers everything that we do. But readers don't come to Readup for the attention quantum and for our read tracking technology. They come here because it's a really fun community. First of all, we fixed reading in terms of the actual act of doing it. Readup has distraction-free reading nailed. This is what an article looks like on The Guardian before you import it to Readup, and with one click, we turn it into this. Beyond that, we also help you track your own personal reading performance. We show you your attention quantum, how much time you're spending when you're looking at a screen actually completing articles. But again, this is really not what's important for our people. It's that we're a community. So this is a really hard part to describe, but when you limit commenting to people who've really read an article, it changes everything. People tend to be more vulnerable, more open, more honest. We're talking about really challenging topics, and the conversations are unlike anything that's happening anywhere else on the internet. And it's also a lot more fun. So there are no echo chambers, there's no bots, no trolls, no clickbaits, no liking, no followers. It's a lot better, but rather than focusing all the things that it's not, you vote with your attention. So you don't have to think about what you're boosting or supporting, or all you have to do is read stuff that you love and connect with other people who are reading what you're reading. So it's live. Go check it out, readup.com. It's much more exciting to experience than to hear about from me. And whatever you want to read, you can read on there, by the way. If we already have all the world's best content, and if it's not on there, you can just import it with one click, and we're growing quickly. But we're also changing very rapidly. And that's why this is an exciting time for us. All of this is going to change soon. We're dropping a paywall across the entire thing, and it's going to cost $10 a month to use Readup. If you're an existing user, you're in, you stay for free forever. Don't worry about this, but get excited about it. But new users are going to have to pay $10 a month to use Readup, and we're going to keep $5, and then we're going to pay $5 to the writers that you're reading. So let's say you read 5 equal length articles in a month. We'll give $5 to each of those writers. This has always been the plan. This is the business model. Now it's finally time to deploy it. And this is why we're raising $1 million to make this happen before the election. So again, we're growing right now, free platform, free content. We have over 500,000 articles, 80,000 authors, almost 80,000 publishers. If we maintain this same growth, we'll be somewhere around 10,000 monthly active users in time to drop the paywall before the election. And from here, this is where the craziness really begins. We're going to start making money on all of these new subscriptions, and this is our go-to market strategy. So let me zoom in on this for a second, because this is not just how we're going to make money, it's how we're going to grow fast. We're not keeping all of our revenues. 50% of it goes to writers. They're going to be able to cash out with one click, and they're going to start earning as soon as we drop this paywall. And with one more click, they verify their accounts. That's how they cash out. And then they integrate with Twitter and start growing their audience and make more money. There's going to be a huge first mover advantage. And we're basically going to move the entire long form, high quality writing and journalist community off of Twitter and onto Readup. The unit economics are absurd here. So we're going to be able to pay writers a nickel for a 10-minute blog post, a dime for a 20-minute article. If you're writing really high-quality, long-form stuff that takes 30 minutes to read, every time someone on Readup reads it, you get a quarter. These are estimates that I'm using with data that our community has provided over the course of the last several years, but reading takes work. It's hard to do, and it should be paid for, and people are willing to pay for it. And this is in an industry that is currently broken. Right now, doesn't matter what the writing is, high quality, low quality, it pays a fraction of a penny per click to advertisers who take some of it before they pass on a fraction of a penny to the writers and the publishers. So we're going to explode this whole thing. And it is a competitive market, but there's a lot of opportunity here for us to vertically integrate and essentially monopolize the long form content industry in order to save it. We're not concerned about the platforms because they are structurally obligated to maintain the news feed and their advertising revenue, and their customers are advertisers. We're also not concerned about publishers. As a matter of fact, we're eager to partner with them. They only have their own individual data sets. We have data, reading data across the entire publishing community. The aggregators and utilities are not communities, and the communities do not have the attention quantum. Nobody has the attention quantum that we have. So again, I've used this term so many times. I'm specifically referring to our reading data and the mechanism that we have to convert that reading data into dollars. The effect of this is that we're going to move dollars away from platforms and over to publishers while taking a cut. In doing this, we are going to completely change the way that people think about privacy online. Because on Readup, you are the customer, we're motivated to help you understand what we take, why we take it, and we have a really good story to tell. So we want you to hear it. We need your reading data. That's the most important thing to us. It's our attention quantum. It's how we pay writers. It's how we facilitate the community and the entire Readup experience. And it's how we make it all work. We will protect your data fiercely, and we'll never sell it, triangulate, or use it to sell you other stuff that you don't need. We're just trying to get you to have the highest quality reading experience so that you keep subscribing month after month to something that is essentially like Spotify for your reading, for your news. The reason we're telling you this constantly is because we believe that in the future, end users and companies are going to be very open about how data is moving, and there will be increased literacy on these topics on both sides of the equation. And the result is a significantly more humane experience. You are not a robot, and you shouldn't be treated like one. This is why we keep showing you the attention quantum again and again. This is you working. This is what we're trying to motivate you to do. Read more, and this is the data set we have on you. Whenever you want to delete your account, we'll explode it. And like I said, you're paying for the right to use this software. We're just building something that we think is worth your time and your money. My co-founder and I are really passionate about this. For starters, I should tell you that we've been friends since we were little kids, and we've actually been like building business and coming up with ideas since we were about this age. But now we have careers behind us. So I have been a reader and writer my entire life. I was an English major at Stanford. It actually took me almost a decade to graduate because I kept on getting distracted building products and building communities. And I'm realizing now that I've always been working on movement growing and also marketplace businesses. My co-founder has a very different path. So he dropped out of college, taught himself how to code, knows all of this stuff. And he wrote every single line of code on Readup. So speaks for itself. We have one weakness right now, which is that we need to grow a team to launch this paywall the correct way, which again is why we're fundraising. So I can go through all of the notes and you can see the plan. We'll talk through this in our follow-up meeting if you're interested. But the main idea here is that we need $1 million in exchange for 20% of the business so that we can hire a team. And so that we can deploy this attention quantum, drop the paywall. But in investor speak, what I'm saying is we're launching the reader-writer marketplace. It's going to change the world. It's going to get really big fast. And it's going to turn anyone who's involved into a billionaire. So if you're interested in this idea, this way to help the world, let me know. My name is Bill. Hope to hear from you soon. Feedback, questions, concerns, comments. Love you all.